Are you bitter, Greg?
I do have bitterness. I followed all of the rules.
Because I don't want to be bitter. I want to be better,
No,
Greg. Well, I was going to say, Greg owes me an apology.
What did I do?
Well, what haven't you done?
Yeah.
So, Alex, how many times have I said I wanted to record an actual podcast? Like so many.
Yeah, because
that's a lot of pressure. I wish I had the statistic.
Tanya and
I don't have it.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, and I don't compare it to any other podcast because I don't know what other podcasts do when they first start. But, drum roll, without promoting, we have 26 Spotify followers.
That's a lot of followers, actually.
I think that's a lot of followers.
We haven't done any promoting.
Naturally, organically found us. The watch time, they're watching the whole thing.
They are watching the whole thing?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Greg has no faith in us. I think that's the main thing.
So if people don't know, my original theory behind podcasts was that it's not necessarily a great way to get your name out there and to get publicity. And let me explain why. The problem with podcasts is that there's a lot of friction between the listener and the podcast itself. So if you think about all the steps you have to do in order to just find a podcast, like there's 3 million podcasts. First, you have to know the name of the podcast, and then you'd have to type that into whatever platform that you're using to, like Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever. And then you have to find it, and then a lot of them have the same. There's only 180,000 words in the English language, but there's 3 million podcasts. A lot of them are the same.
Greg,
thing.
You're way overthinking it.
No,
you are. You're so, even just your answer overthinks it. Literally, you know what I do? I'm walking, I have the dogs, and I'm just like,
That's actually a good approach.
That's all I do, and I just find something.
Wait, Tony, do you know what retard maxing is?
Retard maxing?
Retard maxing.
Is that what you do every morning?
No, it's gooning. Retard maxing, I love the term because it's basically like, don't overthink anything, just do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The story of my life is the opposite of retard maxing. Actually.
I was literally verbatim going to say that.
Yeah.
So you're the opposite.
Yeah. So it's basically, okay, instead of trying to nail down all the little details of what we're going to do and like we're going to plan this out and like, oh, well, I have thought about this and I haven't thought about this. You just do it. So you actually... I know you have a lot of like side hustles. Is that kind of what you mean you're doing, or
kind of?
Yeah.
I just don't really overthink it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that AI's helped me with my overthinking. So if I have an idea, I just throw it into ChatGPT, and then they come up with a great business plan, and I'm off to the races. And the next thing I know, I have a whole new side hustle or business or whatever.
I find
it's really great for my ADHD.
You know what's crazy about AI? So ChatGPT, do you know when it was released?
Yeah, I was like a first adopter.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know when it was actually released.
November of 2022 was like that's when it went like where everyone had access to it. But think about that. We're almost 4 years into this.
Yeah. No, I was probably, that would make sense. In fact, I thought I was a little sooner. I was definitely when it said, we can't talk about anything after 2021.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Right.
So like I try to do market stats. They're like, we can't. But then they would also kind of be accurate. I was like, so you actually can. I just can't say a date.
That's the older models, right? You're not talking about what you're doing now, right?
ChatGPT?
The newer models, I use a few different ones, and like they have all the latest stuff. They have everything. Welcome to Beyond the Seal podcast. I'm Greg Collins, your co-host. We're with Tanya Behrens. We have a lot of topics we're talking about today. This is going to be an AI-focused podcast probably, and we have some thoughts.
We do have some thoughts. Yeah. So I sent you a video about a month ago talking about...
Probably check Facebook.
What?
I don't check my Facebook messages.
Dude, you responded. Well, he literally made a comment. Maybe if you just stopped making such sarcastic comments, you'd actually listen to the stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was about Alex Karp, who is the founder of You Know More Than I Do.
He's a head of Palantir.
Okay. So, the billionaire. And he basically said the only people that are going to navigate the AI era are, your favorite word, neurodivergent, ADHD.
Yeah. I have a problem with the word neurodivergence. If you're listening,
they know.
New listeners.
He's got a problem with
all
everything.
26 listeners don't know, maybe 25 of them.
Okay. So. Anyways, and blue collar workers.
Yeah, they're the only ones that can do it. So actually, I'm glad you brought that up. So the WHO is going to be able to navigate the new world order of AI, right? So in November of this year, we will be 4 years into ChatGPT being released. And if you think about what has changed in those 4 years, like, because ever since it was released, there's been all these AI doomers who are like, okay, tomorrow there's going to be Terminators knocking on your door and we're all dead. That's the essentially like, and we're going to be nuking each other in the whole world. Everyone's going to be unemployed. There's going to be a thin layer of super rich people who will control everything, and then everyone else will just be living like a slave. That's the AI doomer, right? Situation.
Yeah, sure.
If you were to compare your life on the day before ChatGPT was released, which is coming up on 4 years, and today, so between November 2022 and here we are in the summer of 2026, what exactly has AI changed?
For me personally?
Or what you see around you, just every day. Like if you were to wake up and be like, oh my God.
Well, so it changed my life.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, like drastically. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I always struggled in school. I was very insecure about asking questions. So if I had Google, so let's just start with Google, right? Way back. If I just had Google, I probably would have been such a smarter person. Just in general, right? Just because I could look things up and ask questions and, get answers.
Just so audience knows, Tanya and I are basically the same age. We're mid-40s. So we grew up and the internet was just in its infancy.
I think they know how old we are.
I don't think they know. They think I'm like 15 years older than you.
Well, okay, yes.
Yeah, we're the same age. Well, I'm 2 years older than Tanya. Yeah, 46.
Oh, I actually thought we were the exact same age. But yeah, I mean, you had you had Encyclopedia Britannicas, right? So like you couldn't find things on the fly. So just in general, I think I would have been much more successful, right?
You just had Google.
Just Google.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you go to ChatGPT, and I think at first it was really great because it helps you construct your own thoughts, right? You just throw it in there and then they come back to you and then they give you more feedback and more answers, and they can help just really quickly clarify if I have a question between A and B and how do they integrate, right? And they can explain it to you. But throw data in there, it comes back and it makes it digestible, right?
It's coherent. Your thoughts can be all unified into a very just beautifully written whole.
Yeah. So for me, it was almost like school. So again, back then I had a different business plan or idea, and this was really early where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe ChatGPT just wrote my whole entire business plan.
Yeah.
But it gave me confidence. I was like, oh, yeah, I can do this. This makes
4 years
sense.
ago. This is like 3 years ago when ChatGPT first came out.
Yeah. It probably was exactly 3 years ago. Summer 2022 is when I launched that business.
2023, if you use ChatGPT. Because it wasn't released until November of 22. But whatever, it doesn't matter.
No, that's wrong then.
Oh, so you had the business model, but ChatGPT took it to the next level.
It was before Travis died, and he died in May of 2022, and I had already been using it because I had been using it for school, and I launched my business in August.
Oh, okay.
So, fact check. When did ChatGPT? My point is, it gave me confidence. It gave me a structure. It almost was like it took me to school and showed me, I learned a lot.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The problem herein lies, at least from my opinion, is now we're so reliant on it that we can't think for ourselves at all. Nothing that we do. I used to be a pretty good writer. Now I second guess it all, or I'm lazy, right?
Yeah.
Like I could sit here and think about what I want to write, but why? ChatGPT knows me so well. It knows my personality. There are times it spirals down and goes off course, but why would I spend an hour constructing this email when I could throw my very basic thoughts in there? The other thing that drives me nuts is just that from a creativity standpoint, you can see it all over social media. And again, I am at fault for using it too. I needed to make a flyer the other day. I was going to send it to my assistant, and I'm like, I only need it for like this one day, like a quick thing. Yeah. Or just ChatGPT, and it was done in 5 minutes, right? But everything kind of looks the same. It's like the Botox lip filler version of creativity.
It's very generified or something.
Like everyone looks the same now. All of our products are the same. All of our
buildings look the same too. Everything looks the same. It's weird.
Well, I think that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Like if you think about like
like Taco Bell and 7-Eleven look the same now. Like this is weird Anyway,
like
I'm getting off
7-Eleven and Taco Bell look the same, or all Taco Bells look the same and all 7-Elevens look the same?
They're like a gray box, basically.
Oh.
Yeah. If you look at, yeah.
Yeah. It's once McDonald's did away with their fun playgrounds.
Pizza Hut never should have gotten rid of that red top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. We'll go back to AI. So you bring up a good point, which is I actually do not believe AI is going to bring about this, like the end of the world. End of the world meaning not just are they not going to be sending the Terminators to come hunt us down because you used the wrong language 10 years ago or something. Let me step back a bit. If you take a historical perspective on technology, every single new technology resulted in this fear-mongering about how it was going to throw everybody out of work.
Right.
In fact, that's where the word sabotage comes from, because it's the Dutch word sabo, meaning shoe. When during the Industrial Revolution, in order to ruin all of the machines, they would throw their shoes into the machine.
Okay.
because the machines were putting people out of work, right? There's always this moral panic that follows any sort of new technology. And so I just think that it's another version of that where, okay, everyone says, oh, we're all going to be unemployed and what are we going to do? And when actually it'll bring some benefits, like you're saying, hey, now I can assemble coherent thoughts and I can learn things and I can get over my anxiety about asking questions that I was never able to do. The downside is it will eliminate a bunch of jobs, but it'll simultaneously create a bunch of new jobs.
Right. Well, think about this. Software engineers.
Yeah.
I mean, that thunder is crazy.
We don't get thunder. Yeah. What is God saying about software engineers, you think?
I don't know, but he's got some words. I mean,
he's a doomer on software engineers.
But I mean, if you think about it, and I was too young probably to know what they were saying online when we didn't have it. But, when the internet hit.
We had nothing.
Yeah, when the internet hit, I'm sure there was something, where people freaked out. But then now, and especially obviously in our area, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of software engineers and anything that has to do with tech, right? That just opened the door to it. The other thing people just have to understand is, so if all of our jobs are replaced and we're unemployable, then all these businesses can't make money because nobody has money for it.
Right.
So it just doesn't.
It's, in my opinion,
sense.
The idea that AI is going to lead to this dystopia where everyone is unemployed and basically just living in absolute poverty is really a failure of imagination. I think a really good example of introducing technologies and it causing improvements and new businesses in ways that we didn't anticipate is the invention of refrigeration. So this happens, just in the last 120 years or so. Once you invented refrigeration, there were a whole bunch of new businesses that could also start. So, for example, Coca-Cola. Mm-hmm. So, and you could also start transporting meat and preserving meat. And then now, not only did you have a business that, okay, we can actually send meat from Texas and over up to Washington State because we can actually have it refrigerated and frozen. So now we have a much bigger market than we did before because it cost too much and it was to ship it previously. But now there's all these other new businesses that we didn't anticipate. So, for example, Coca-Cola. But for AI, I'm actually not sure that it's going to do anything to software engineers because now they just become way more effective because they can produce so much more code. Because we're not really seeing a bunch of layoffs because of AI. Now, the CEOs say that they're laying all these people off because of AI, but that's just cover so that Wall Street doesn't ding their stock. So what they do is, if you're a CEO and you're like, I got to fire the 20% lowest performing people in this company, which every CEO should do. And that's part of their job. They got to cut costs and they got to raise sales. That's their main job. If you say, okay, 20% of this company just doesn't do anything. They just text their friends all day. They just cause problems. They set up unnecessary meetings. So I'm going to fire all those people. That wouldn't be kosher. The Seattle Times will go after you. All the woke people on Twitter be like, oh my God, he gave himself a raise and now he's just firing people who now are going to have trouble putting food on the table. But if he says, well, because of improvements in AI, we are announcing a reduction in force. Well, do you think they're going to lay off their top 10% of performers? Or are they going to lay off the bottom 10% of people who are horrible at their jobs and, demand time off whenever their goldfish dies and things like that? Of course they're going to fire their bottom 10% of performance and then just
But they should also just be able to fire them.
Right. But they need political cover, and that's what AI does. It's
Gotcha.
like, well, we've got improvements in AI, and so then Wall Street's like, yay, yay, and the stock goes up another $1. So.
Okay, I can't get a word in edgewise, but do you want your pants stuck into your socks like that?
Do you not know that that's the new style? What are I doing? Oh my God, how embarrassing. There's people watching.
Well, because, our shoes are in here now. So.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, that's why.
We got to sell. Actually, I can't see them in that shot. But you know what we need to do? Because we have so many viewers, we need to actually. I got to go talk to Hugo Boss and see if I can get like a little, wet my beak a little bit. So, because I could use some coin. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, then listen to me, and I'll guide us down the coin route.
You're good at that part, negotiating the business stuff.
What am I not good at?
AI analysis.
What?
I'm just kidding.
I can't really understand you right now.
Okay, sorry. Where were we?
Greg doesn't believe in me. Greg thinks that only he knows how to do anything. Do you know how many times? Okay, can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
Well, you know the story, but you don't know what I'm going to say. So, Greg used to edit all the videos before I came onto the scene.
Yeah.
And the first time I was in here, you did the edits, and they were super zoomed in. Like, I was like, wow, like, back me up, man. This is like, I'm so zoomed in. So then Zaya edited the next round, and your comment was, well, I wouldn't put it back that far because I go,
yeah,
oh, really? You go, but, I mean, you're doing something right because you're getting all the views.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's for sure.
So then, fast forward, we repost an old video, and Greg goes, I wouldn't have it so zoomed in like that. That looks kind of weird. And I'm like, that's your video, Greg. Your video.
Oh my God.
I'm just like, trust the process, Greg. Trust that I actually did study social media marketing and I do it for a living.
Well, first of all, yeah, I trust the clicks. And you guys were able to get 10x the clicks that I was ever able to get with Tyler.
Well, and also, you just said you want to make some coin. Those bottom barrel rage baity people are never going to buy anything that you're promoting. So
but we're buying their attention.
If you want people to use you for an advertiser, you
That's
need to have an audience that actually enjoys you.
That's a valid
and
point,
wants
actually.
to buy what you're selling. So
we need a more affluent audience than all the gooners that were rage baiting.
That you're rage baiting.
Oh, yeah.
When I've stopped, do you know that I boycotted my own Facebook?
You did? You have like 26,000 followers.
Because your stuff was so miserable, I couldn't listen to it. That's why I keep having to realign you.
See, yeah, but this tension is why we actually like talk so well. Because if we were just like completely like marching in lockstep, why would anybody listen?
So, true. Yeah.
Okay, so
I got thoughts, but on that thought.
We do need a more affluent audience, but yeah, go ahead.
Are you bitter, Greg?
So
I asked him this off camera earlier, and then I was like, actually, answer it on the camera.
So I do have bitterness, and but it's not from what you think. So one of the things that I felt most betrayed by was that I, as a younger man, up through my mid-20s, followed all of the rules that my boomer parents told me to do. And it was this: if you study hard and you put off gratification for as long as possible and you follow the rules, then you're going to end up with a very high-paying career. You will be in very good shape, essentially for the rest of your life. And so, and I'm not blaming my parents for doing that because that worked for them.
Right.
It absolutely was the case for the boomer generation that if you worked hard and you played by the rules and you put up delayed gratification, then you would do well in your career. Now, I took it so far, and so I not only I went to the top high school and top colleges, not in the city or the state or the country, but in the galactic universe. So
wow, the galactic universe.
My point is, I go to
Do we know where you went?
I'm trying. So I go to Lakeside. That's,
Lakeside Milam?
Is that for rehab or something?
Yeah.
The first word is Lakeside? I thought it was something
Lakeside
else.
Milam.
Oh, yeah. I will need to go there after this podcast. But that's where Bill Gates went. That's, this elite school in Seattle. And then I go to West Point. Oh. And so is there any more sacrifice you can make in terms of like delaying your gratification than going to the top military academy in the world? Probably not. Now, but then I come out in my mid-20s and I'm in corporate America, and I realized I was set up for a world, and I had been prepared for a world that not only no longer existed, but probably never existed. And I was so uniquely unfit and unprepared for the reality of corporate America that I basically spent this 10-year incredibly uncomfortable and humiliating journey grinding it out inside these massive corporate bureaucracies. And at which point I bottom out in 2015 and get fired from Tommy Bahama because I just wasn't able to fit in with the expectations of corporate America. And so that bitterness, because of the humiliation that I felt, and because I essentially sacrificed my entire childhood because I played by the rules and always put off gratification as long as possible, I carry with me this bitterness that if you actually do what they say you should do, you'll be not only will you not be ahead of your peers who were, partying and having sex and taking drugs and doing whatever they wanted during childhood. Not only will you not be ahead of them, you'll actually be behind them. You will be worse adjusted for the world. And so I have had just this anger that I carry with me, and this has informed the way that I essentially approach almost every topic. And it's informed the way I do parenting, because I feel like I shouldn't tell my kids, oh, absolutely study hard because then you'll get a great job. I actually kind of like, just it's all right if you, just do your best, and it's not that big of a deal because your dad made all these sacrifices and he ended up actually worse adjusted than if he had never made those sacrifices to begin with. And so anyway, that's the bitterness that I carry with me. So.
Okay, that was
so corporate told you that you were not Bahama enough?
Let me put it this way. If you are an introvert with integrity, you are uniquely disadvantaged in corporate America. So I thought and I'm not talking about small business, and I'm not talking about medium-sized businesses. I'm talking about like corporate America, like large organizations. It's different if you're working for yourself or you're working with in a small business. It's a very different world. I had been instructed that if you do what you say, and if you maintain a sense of integrity, where you're basically, what happens is you're uniquely unprepared for office politics. And if you look at the job description in corporate America and you say, okay, this is what I have to do to get ahead, you're going to fall flat on your face. Because the job description says, okay, you'll be doing, distribution operations, and you're going to be doing analysis, and you're going to be doing teamwork in order to achieve the goals of our guests. Actually, your job is to build a bunch of phony relationships with senior management and colleagues, and then build coalitions of colleagues in one group so you can fight for resources with other groups, and essentially manipulate in a Machiavellian way your own brand so that you can get ahead. So I had the perspective, and it was very naive, that if I just said what I believed and I did the right thing, then I would get ahead. And it turned out that was actually precisely the opposite. So when I say I was uniquely unprepared for the world, that's what I mean. I came out thinking you should have integrity in order to get ahead in corporate America, when it's precisely the opposite. You need to be an extroverted sociopath.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you because I am on the podcast too. I need to I'm dying to say something.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that you're wrong, but I do think that is your experience.
Yeah, good
and
point.
I'm wondering how it's still serving you today, because like all I hear is a different version of I was abused as a child, and therefore I react this way.
I wasn't abused.
I wasn't.
No, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
My turn.
Yes.
Okay. No, that same victim story that people hold on to forever, and it's like at a certain point you've been like, if I was using like I was abused as a child, you've been out of that home longer than you were in it, and yet you're still carrying it with you. Not saying you don't have damage from that. I get that. But at what point do you say, I don't want this anymore for my life? So the way that you now have this negative lens on everything that you look at, how is that productive for you?
No, that's a valid point.
But also, you are one personality. There's 1,000 other personalities that maybe have thrived and going to college. And again, I think the difference when you said something like maybe because your college was so strict and stuff, you weren't doing the partying and having sex and stuff. But a lot of people go to college and they do all that stuff and they still come out with a degree. So they got the life experience. Because we've talked about this.
No, they were ahead of me.
Yeah. But I'm saying like that was just because that was your experience at college. But like that's not because you encompass college as your experience only.
Right.
And again, for somebody who did not go to college, like besides like Bellevue College, and I also can have the opposite where I feel like I missed out on that, even though I was still doing all the things that everyone at college was doing, because I missed out on those experiences. But early on, when I was like 21, 22, I was making bank, like 80 grand for that age and that era.
Wow, a lot.
And all my friends were getting their degrees, coming out, and they couldn't find jobs. If they did,
What were you doing?
I was like claims.
Insurance. Yeah.
Insurance and stuff. But I was like second in line with the manager and stuff like that. So I got a lot of overtime is what happened. Okay. So, I'm starting my career and I'm now a couple years ahead of where they're starting out with no debt, right? I didn't have any college debt.
It's a big difference.
And that proceeded to one day.
And you had years of experience working.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So then I'm sitting there one day and I look at this guy that kind of seems like a schmuck. And he's always going golfing, and he's making way more than I am. And I'm working all the time, right? Yeah. And I'm like, what's he doing? And they're like, well, he's sales, account manager. I'm like, yeah, that's what I need to get into. So it's from, got it. It was from that moment forward, I switched into sales. Okay. Now I start making a bunch of money. Now my brother, on the other hand, went to Embry-Riddle, got his master's degree. He's a pilot. He's been a pilot forever. Never went corporate. Never, like major airlines. He's private. And anyways, he's doing all those things. And I remember one time he was talking to my mom. And he was so pissed that I'm making 3 or 4 times as much as him. Right?
Yeah. Good for you.
Thanks. But guess what? Who's got the $1 million lakefront home now? Right? So he grinded it out. He had multiple jobs. He was doing it. And slowly, and granted, we're 2 totally different personalities. He'll ride his car into the ground. I'm just learning to understand that thinking, right? Like just now. He stayed in the same house. He's just much more like a read the newspaper every morning, eat my cereal kind of guy.
Boring.
Yeah, but he also has season tickets to every single sporting event and flies around to all of them. So that was always his thing. But fiscally, he's a lot more.
But it seems like we are actually on the same page because you have a good point. I agree with you. One of the problems with my story is that I only worked for like 3 different corporations, and there's hundreds of large corporations to work for, which is also one of the problems because when you join an organization, it's really hard to suss out if this is a properly functioning organization or not until you've been there to the point where it's too late to leave and not hurt your resume. Does that make sense? Because it takes like 9, 10, 12 months to sort of figure out, okay, this place is really
actually,
dysfunctional.
I think anymore that it's almost like, again.
You've worked for some crappy organizations, right?
Yeah. And I don't know if they're necessarily crappy. I did not fit. I was not part of the old boys club.
Yeah.
Even though I was at other, it doesn't matter. But I lost my train of thought. But I think, it's like relationships. You know, it's almost like, aren't you better off having a couple 3-month relationships because you called it quits quickly versus I was in a relationship for 5 years that was going nowhere and I just put 5 years.
I would agree with you. So now this is actually really good insight from you. Mm-hmm. Instead, so the sort of the worst kind of job, just like being the worst kind of alcoholic, is just like a ho-hum. It's not great, but it's also not bad. And so you just kind of like go right in the mid. And it's like, you know, I'll just slog this out because quitting, I got to put my resume together. And then what if they find out that I'm looking for another job? Then I'll be on the outs. I would agree with you that maybe 3 months is a little fast, but a bunch of 6-month relationship, like, because 5 years and then you call it quits. I mean, first of all, you only live to 80. So it's not, you can't really do that many of those. Yeah. So maybe a better option would be if it was instead of sticking it out in these crappy organizations, I should have like left earlier. Yeah.
Well, also I was going to say to back up on something that I'm sure your parents said the same thing. So growing up 80s, 90s, my dad, now granted he died young, so who knows if he ever would have switched, but he was the CEO at 30 there. So I don't think he was going anywhere.
He's a CEO?
Yeah. And
I didn't know you were a rich girl.
This is 1998 money.
CEOs made a lot of money in 1998.
I mean, he.
Well, wait, which CEO of like a
Fisher Mills, the scones at the fair.
Is that it? Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have a beef with Fisher Mills, by the way. Do you know that? It's $3.50 at the friggin' fair, and it's all this is starch.
It's all sold out now. Like, you know.
Oh.
After Dad died, the company.
Okay, all right. No,
but they had sold the scone recipe anyways. But we provided
jelly and
we provided flour to like Round Table Pizza, and that was like huge. So like all Round Table Pizza was their flour, and they're right down here in West Seattle.
Oh, okay.
So like if you're driving over the bridge and you look down, and you see those mills.
That was your dad?
Yeah.
Sorry, I got you off track by my.
My point is that you work at one job and you stay at one job. Yeah. So then again, so you have two different perspectives. You have my brother who still thinks like that, and me who learned real quick that you ain't ever getting a promotion unless you jump ship, or like a substantial raise, I should say. You might get a promotion, because all companies have the same theory of like, there's only a max that you can seem to put on somebody's raise, even if you give them a big promotion.
That's for sure.
But then you leave. Story. I was a sales manager at a telecom.
Oh, you had like a team.
Yeah, at a telecom company. And I just keep going now, Alex. I just keep whatever. Okay. And then my friend also was a sales manager, and they eliminated both of our teams one day. And they said, you can go back to being a senior account manager, or you can leave.
Really? They just said you're fired or senior account manager?
Well, I mean, not really fired. You get laid off or whatever, you know? Okay, yeah. So I did what I should have. I mean, I thought. And I took the senior sales job, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
This guy leaves, gets a severance. Gets a severance.
Like a fat severance?
I don't know, a couple months.
Okay.
I mean, we're we're in our 20s at this time.
Yeah,
decent. We're like 26, 27, you know?
Which when you're that age, getting a severance at all, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. And this was like not a big company, you know? So it's like, oh, okay, we got a severance. So he leaves. Then this position came up that we had both wanted. We go for it. I stayed at the company. Honestly, I had way better social skills, in my opinion.
I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, women just do in general.
Yeah. But there's whatever. I didn't get the job. He comes back, gets the job.
After leaving,
gets the job. So, and a big old raise. So not only did he get the severance, he leaves for a little bit, comes back, gets the dream job that I wanted. And I had made President's Club that year too. Like, I was successful.
Wait, hold on a second. How do you know what he's making? I thought that was like on the
because he was
deal.
a good friend of mine.
Oh.
Yeah, like we just know. Like,
there was such a stigma associated with telling
But
people.
we also, I mean, it was public.
You
I mean,
guys are
I knew what he was going to make because it's advertised when you go for the job, what your salary range is. And
okay. Now that just left a bitterness in your.
No, because I don't want to be bitter. I want to be better, Greg.
No. But then you can use it to fuel yourself and
what's the point of that?
Well, you need to be motivated somehow.
I'm extremely motivated.
You actually are quite motivated, yeah.
I'm not bitter at all. With everything that's happened in my life,
yeah,
I could definitely
be
bitter.
A lot more bitter.
Why?
How come you're not?
I literally, one, I hate conflicts. So being bitter, it would just, like living in that turmoil, no way.
Yeah.
But life's great.
You can mix it up a little bit. You're not totally shy away from conflict. You kind of.
Oh, like something pisses me off.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say something.
Yeah. Well,
But I mean, no, I don't know how it serves you, your life, your ultimate happiness, to have that like negative disposition towards things. I feel like maybe that's why everyone thinks you're 15 years older than me, Greg. I'm full of sunshine.
I wonder when I look in the mirror why I look so much older than my wife is actually older than me, and I look 10 years older than her, and so I would say that is a valid point. Not having sort of released the bitterness that I feel for having squandered my childhood on doing the right thing would probably help me not age so quickly.
Yeah. Well,
I think
okay, we got to wrap up this episode. Okay. But what we figured out is Greg actually needs some counseling.
Yeah.
Probably some yoga.
I just snapped a pencil.
Little meditation.
Yeah.
You know.
I need therapy.
Yeah, I'm going to check in with you next time.
Conversion therapy.